Hello, good morning. So sorry we started a little bit later than schedule because tech glitches happens and that's just how life is. But nonetheless, we are here. So assalamualaikum everybody. Welcome to Diva Roma's World Environment Day Cookout with me and my fellow SAs. And we're also going to be having one of our customers share with us some tips on baking. So yes, today is World Environment Day, exactly today, and we're going to be trying to share some tips on how you can do your part in saving Mother Earth. So First and foremost, guys, welcome. This is, of course, our virtual cooking show demonstrating the full features, inshallah, using the Thermomix, our TM6. Okay, so before that, we'd love to welcome all of you and we'd love to know where you're from. Just jot down over the comment box your name and where you're based. We'd love to hear from you, all right? And if you already own a Thermomix, which model? Is it the TM31? Is it the TM5? Or do you too have the wonderful all smart kitchen, the TM6? Would love to find out a little bit more also, okay? Now, what is important to you when cooking? For me, I discovered the Thermomix because my best friend Wayomia actually introduced it to me, and at that point of time, that was about 2 years ago, she said to me, you know, this is great, yada yada yada, because I'm not a big fan of cooking. However, during the pandemic last year when I was without helper, I just had my newborn and my husband and I were just sick and tired of ordering in all the time because he loves his sambal and curries, and I'm your typical orang dusun yang suka sup saja. Saya bilang bagus saya pergi invest sajalah in this Thermomix, and I've not looked back, not regretted ever since then, because now I found ways to not just save money, but I'm more creative in my masakan now, and I've also, the best part is, networked and met so many new friends along the way, okay? So do state what is important to you when cooking. Is it money saving? Is it reliably easy? Is it healthy? Is it creative? And does it save your time? Is that something that you want, just like yours truly over here? And I'm going to ask you this question. How many or what types of appliances do you have at home? For me, I've got a bread maker, I've got a blender, I've got a mixer, I've got a rice cooker. I mean, every Asian home should have a rice cooker, right? A kettle, you name it, I've got it, right? And this is the key feature of the Thermomix and why we keep on stressing that it is indeed a smart all-in-one kitchen. Take a look. Oh. Miss pula. So you've got all that on your counter. I'm sure all of you are familiar with this, but in just one snap of a finger, you've got it all under one smart machine, okay? And that is the Thermomix 6 for you. Now, just a little history before we get into the cooking part of the show. Just a little history about Thermomix. It's by a company called Warwick, and it's from Germany. It has a very strong history, background, technology behind it. We all know that German products are amazing. It's being sold at over 80 countries globally. It started out in 1883, so it should be about 138 years now, and we've won awards here. We've won awards and recognitions all around the world. It has been your personal kitchen assistant since the 1960s, and admittedly, it started off as a blender. So you can see, if you can really squeeze your eyes and squint over, that was the first model, the VKM5, and now we've evolved into the TM6. I've got friends, in fact, our interim branch manager Fiza has the TM31. She's had it for about 12 years and it is still running so amazingly. It is definitely a world bestseller, and we sell one Thermomix every 23 seconds. So that's just how amazing this machine is and why a lot of people want their hands on it, okay? So discovering the Thermomix, this is basically how it looks like. Normally in my cooking virtual shows, I'll have the unit with me, but because we're going to try out this new system that we have, I'll be doing my cooking in the kitchen, but this is how it basically looks like, right? So you've got the one selected dial that has the time, temperature, and speed. We've got the high quality German motor, which is just super powerful. It is frictionless, so there's no heat generated. You don't have to worry about it being overheating. It goes from 40 RPM all the way to 10,700 RPM, and that's really strong, really turbo power, and I'll be showcasing that feature to you guys in just a bit. We've got the mixing bowl, and it looks like, oh, very dainty, yeah, but actually it can actually fit in about 2.2 liters. On top of that, we've got the Varoma dish, which can house about 3.3 liters of food. Okay, and all the other accessories that come with it. What is Varoma? It's actually vapor aroma, so you can actually multi-cook at the same time. While you're cooking your rice and potatoes below, you can cook your proteins and meats above as you steam it, and vegetables on top. Okay, so that is the Thermomix. We've got 3 options to own your Thermomix. One is, of course, by full payment. There's another way by financing, I'll get into later on in the show, or you can join us as a sales advisor and get it for free. All right, so I mentioned earlier on how one Thermomix does it all. Is not just a blender, because a lot of people say mahal juga itu, blender mahal juga itu. It doesn't just blend, all right? It blends, it steams, it emulsifies, it stirs, it chops, it cooks, it mixes, it weighs. Yes, it has an integrated weighing scale inside, and it is so precise, up to 1 gram, okay? It grinds, it whips, it heats, it kneads, it is a kettle, it's your rice cooker, it minces, ferments. Yes, it ferments, so you can make yogurts and cheese. It has high temperature cooking. It has sous vide, and if you know, the sous vide machine costs about 3,000-4,000 ringgit, a good quality one. It does slow cook, so it can go as long as 8 hours to 12 hours if you're using fermentation mode. It can pre-clean, so it will really help you save time. Instead of like scrubbing all this minyak away, it can actually pre-clean or clean your mixing bowl in advance or later on once you're done cooking. As well, it has sugar stages, so you can do caramelization. And we all know, especially bakers, I'm going to be talking to one of our bakers later on, and how difficult and tricky it can be when you're trying to do that, okay? It is definitely your perfect kitchen assistance for any lifestyle. So be it you're a single person, you are someone who just started work, you know, it's just you alone, to a big family, to someone who's more elderly. So even kita punya mak bapak pun boleh pakai. My kids love it. They're very, very, you know, hands-on with the Thermomix, and it's just so easy because all the prompts are there if you follow the recipe, okay? So today is World Environment Day, so let's nurture the nature so we can have a better future. That's the reason why we themed our cooking show today around that. And I've got eco tip number 1, plant your own produce. I was going to start off, we normally start our cooking show with a welcome drink, and it normally starts off with a lemonade, right? I don't have any lemonade. Then I remembered I have custody growing in my small garden. Yes, in the cement building, cement jungle that I live in, kan? Saya orang kampung ba, jadi kan sepanggil ni cement jungle saya lah kan. I found custody which was in abundance, so I'm going to go and grab that so that I can make you guys a drink and showcase to you the power of the turbo. In the meantime, I'm going to pass over the presentation or the spotlight over to my sales advisor, Aisyah, who's going to demonstrate to you guys how to make fast and easy stir-fried bihun. Over to you, Aisyah.
Hi guys. As mentioned by Daphne, we're going to make one of the most sought after recipes with Thermomix. Somehow, every time someone buys a Thermomix, the first thing they want to try is the mihun goreng, because that is where they want to put their curiosity to rest. So the fast and easy stir-fried bihun is fast and easy. So basically, I'm cooking today for my very tiny family, and I have 200 grams of mihun that I have washed. I've washed it just to get a little bit of the starch out and to make it pliable, but I did not soak it. So this is one of the tips if you want to make your mihun in the Thermomix. Don't soak it too long. If you want to soak it maybe for 1 or 2 minutes, but otherwise rinsing it thoroughly is more than enough. And then this is my garlic and onion. I buy them peeled. The Thermomix can do it for you, but because getting them peeled is way easier for me, I get them peeled, so all I have to do is just put it in. So now we start with following the instructions. Okay, it says to chop the garlic. I didn't need my chopping board for this. So for 5 seconds, on speed 5, let it go. Done. Clean hands, but chop garlic and onions. Look. So I'm going to scrape it down. Put it all to the base so that it can start sauteing. Okay, next. We've got oil. It says to use, how much oil here? How much oil here? 25. So we go to the scales and we measure out 25 grams of oil. saute it for 4 minutes. And on speed 1. And that's the first part. So let me go backwards a little bit. For this recipe, we're gonna use fish cakes that I've sliced, boneless chicken meat that I've also sliced up. The recipe calls for carrots. I don't have that, so I'm just gonna put sweet corn and sayur that I found in the fridge. I don't know the name of the sayur, but I really like it stir-fried. So I'm gonna add this into my mihun later. The reason why I chopped it up so fine is pro mom tip. Chop it up fine enough so that your kids can pick it out later. So yeah, while we wait, we have about 3 more minutes. I'm just going to say that ever since I got this Thermomix, I don't think I have not cooked in a day. Do I make sense? I have cooked every day ever since I got the Thermomix. And yet just yesterday, I made pizza for the first time in probably forever. For the first time, I made pizza without buying those frozen base at the bakery store. Kneading the dough was just 2 minutes and it was magic. It was the best thing. And yeah.
Aisyah?
Yes?
How many more minutes do you have?
I have 2 minutes.
2 more minutes. And after that, you've got to...
After that, I will be putting in my soy sauce. And that will go for another 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'll let you to, ramble on. And then whilst you wait for the meat to masak, then only you pass it to me during my lemonade or my custard.
Okay.
How's things, man?
Doing
I know
okay.
It's been a bit of a crazy week for you.
It has been. This COVID thing is just taking a toll on everyone. Everybody is just everywhere. Everyone I know has been doing a swab test every other day. So yeah, guys, stay home as much as you can. It's ridiculous right now.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people don't think it's as serious until it happens to someone that you know or someone very close that you know, a friend of a friend, a family of a friend.
It's
so while we're trying to keep this light, it's
kids.
The same thing, guys. Stay safe.
Okay, I've got about 1 more minute. In here, just gonna show you. Mm-hmm. The recipe calls for dark soy sauce, light soy sauce. I think there's oyster sauce, white pepper. I've just mixed everything in here according to the measurements. No lah, tipu-tipu. I did not follow the measurements properly. I did the whole agak-agak Malaysian style.
And that's just it. I mean, the recipes community or Cookidoo is there as a guidance, especially for new cooks like yours truly. But people like Aisyah, people like Mas, who will be joining us later on, those who are already familiar with their own recipes, can sort of adapt their recipes onto the onto their Thermomix or their TM6. So the guided cooking is there. But sometimes, you want to add a little bit more asam. Like yesterday, I make singgan bawang putih, and I wanted it to be more soury, so I added another asam keping. Instead of 2, I added 3. So things like that, right, Aisyah? I mean, you've been toying with it for about 2-3 weeks now. You've just got your unit.
Yeah. Because after you dah masak for a few years, you tend to know what everything tastes like, so you can agak-agak a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna add this in and let it go for 5 minutes, and then I will pass it to you. We'll come back and see what it's like later. Okay, this one
is there a
goes
particular
for...
bihun brand that you specifically prefer?
No, not really.
No?
No.
Because my Lina is always like, you got the wrong one again. I'm like, which brand? They all look the same. So see, you can tell that I'm a noob cook. But I'm slowly learning my ropes.
Okay, this one goes for 5 minutes. Then 100 on speed 1. So now I can go sit down.
Now you can
And
sit
wait for
down.
it to cook for me.
All right then, I'll see you in about 5 minutes. I'm just going to take over for a while. Thank you, Aisyah. Okay, guys, so I mentioned earlier on how I wanted to make lemonade, and then I realized I don't have any lemons. I had 1 lemon, but that's going to be used for my meal or my dish later on. But I remembered I've got like an abundance of kasturi. There you go, from the garden. So that would be eco tip number 1, which is grow your own produce, okay? So this is it. I've already cut it in half. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be sharing with you a welcome drink, a very refreshing welcome drink that we always introduce in all our demo shows. Instead of lemonade, I'm going to call it kasturi aid. Boleh ka macam tu. And there is an actual recipe that sort of resembles that. It's called limeade. So what I've done is in the Cookidoo, which is basically an integrated recipe platform with over 70,000 recipes inside, where you can also filter it. I've already sort of saved it, and I am going to just use the prompts. So it says here start cooking, and just do what's being told. Now, because this is a cooking show, I've already sort of measured and weighed it in advance, and because I don't want too much sugar, my husband likes his lime juices very soury, I've actually halved the sugar. And you can just, see, this is what I mean by having the weighing scale. It's already integrated in the TM6. So I'm going to add in the sugar. You can also use rock sugar if you want, because the turbo of this can actually make it into some beautiful powdery goodness. And then I am going to put on the measuring cup onto my lid and go into, oh sorry. Sometimes kadang-kadang saya punya tangan ni terlampau excited ba? And I'm going to grind the sugar for about 26 seconds now as the timer slowly sets off. And you can see, I'm not sure if you can see this, unfortunately I can't zoom in, you can see the powder of the sugar being grinded, because that's how efficient the turbo and how strong the motor is, right? Even if you're using like rock sugar, it's a little bit more louder. I ran out of rock sugar for this demo, but you can also use sugar. At the end of the day, you want to make it very powdery. And I will show it to you guys just as proof, okay? So you know how most caster sugar looks like, right? Oh wow, dia macam berasap kau punya dapur ni, Deb. Nah, berasap dengan, powdery gula ba? Ambil kau. Saya mau cuba kasih tunjuk kamu orang ba ni. Saya punya kamera ni macam dia mau. Kau nampak ba? So you know what? If you don't have any icing sugar at home, no fret. You know, you can just grind your sugar and then sudah jadi icing sugar. Kalau kau ada rock sugar saja, boleh juga. Jadi kau boleh, alamak, my looking house, my sayang, my baby. So always put your Thermomix from up above, okay? Okay, so next I'm gonna add in the limes. I'm not even gonna like bother removing the biji because later on I'll show you why. So all that in, and then I've got about 18 ounce. You can change the metrics of the Thermomix. If you're more familiar with grams as opposed to ounces, then you can do that too. But because this recipe has already been like sort of integrated in the system, then you just go with whatever it's giving you. And this would be about 18 ounce of water. Okay, wow, lebih pula sikit. Never mind, nanti saya minum ini. Next, insert measuring cup and hold in place. And then we are going to go into 10. We're turboing it. We're crushing it basically. And then keep measuring cup in. And then we're going to go again. Another turbo, speed of 10. Just 2 seconds. There's also a turbo if you swipe into the features of it, okay? All right. So kalau kau nampak ni, alala. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the excess water so that I can reuse this jug. And I'm going to use the simmering basket, which actually is great for cooking your rice, potatoes, etc. And I'm going to use this instead as a strainer. Okay, so I'm going to strain the lime water into my pitcher. And then I'm going to add in some ice cubes. Don't know if you guys can see this. Let's try and put this over here so that you guys can see. Itu dia bakal kau tengok ba ni lime juice bogya. Nah, all the goodness from the garden is now extracted and will serve as a beautiful welcome drink. So I can kasih saya punya Sabah, my husband, a drink. He loves his lime juice just because he's helping us out with the tech side of our virtual show today. Yay! In the meantime, I'm going to just get Aisyah to be on standby because I think her bihun's almost ready. So see? And everything is just beautifully crushed. And I'm not going to throw this away. I'm actually going to use it to continue cleaning my blades later on. So that, because the lime actually helps to clean your blades and your mixing bowl and gives it a nice scent. I'm going to add in a bit of ice cubes. Just so they're sajok-sajok. Alright. And let's pour it in. Tidak boleh tahan ka. Nanti sa kasi ko, boss. There you go. A refreshing kasturi aid drink for my husband. Over to you, Aisyah. Let's see how you're going with your bihun over there.
Before that,
You need to unmute yourself, darling.
I did. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I've had questions about what you just made. Orang tanya,
Yes.
tak pahit ke?
Air apa?
Because the drink you just made, tak pahit ke with all the
tak.
skin in there?
So it's not bitter, but admittedly you have to drink it fresh because eventually, because we crushed it with the skin, it will turn bitter if you leave it for a few days. But dude, this can definitely habis like one go. I can make like 4 or 5 times of this, and the kids will not get sick of it.
Okay.
Letak lagi asam boy. Power yo. I don't have asam boy. I finished it all. All right.
So, moving forward
Berapa minit lagi
with
Yos?
the recipe, it says to...
Oh, 2 more minutes. Wow. Did
So,
you use egg
this
for
is
yours?
the-
Not yet, right?
This is the kicap that is already cooked.
Okay.
I will put half into the mihun that is pre-soaked. The other half will remain in here. And I will add in my chicken and my fish balls. So there is a reason why the recipe calls for it to be this way. So that your ingredients cook well and you're not going to crush your mihun like how everybody imagine it to be. Because everybody knows that there is a blade at the bottom and they imagine the mihun to just go mushy. But if you do it according to the recipe, it will come out like as if you made it in a kuali with fire. So here, we're supposed to go, what are we supposed to do? Okay, cook it for 1 minute. Varoma. Reverse speed. Wait. So the varoma is the highest temperature for this, if I'm not wrong, right, Daphne? And it says in the tip that although we use the varoma temperature, it's not necessary that it will hit that temperature because it wants to take care of the ingredients inside. So it will just hit the right temperature suitable with whatever is inside. Oh, next. Okay, Now we get our mihun with the ketchup ready and our vegetables ready. So I would personally put the vegetables at the bottom and then the mihun. Done. Last step. I've got my jagung and I've got my, I have to learn the name of this sayur. It looks like a salad, but it's not. It has a Chinese name. Oh, pop in the mihun.
Chinese
That's
salad
200
lah.
grams of mihun. So now 4 minutes. Yes.
Oi, sedap betul air ni.
Oh, sedap betul bunyi dia. Reverse speed, stir. Okay, so for mihun, we have the spatula. The spatula has this protector at the end. You just use it to move the mihun around. Just to help it along.
So this is the spatula that you can, the only spatula that you can use with your Thermomix, okay? I mean, you can use the other, I've got another spatula which is slightly slimmer, but that's for scraping and stuff. But when you are actually cooking, this is the only spatula that you should be using because there's the reason why it's designed that way, so it won't hit the blade. And it's also very great. It's also great because when you put it on the surface of your counter or your working area, it will never, the blade will never, or will never touch the surface. So it's clean, it's hygienic in that sense.
So while we let it go, I just want to talk about a little bit about how you can clean your Thermomix. There are multiple methods to cleaning it. You don't have to scrub it by hand, no. So what you can do is, the eggshells that you use to make your mihun. I have omelette to garnish on later. So the eggshells I put aside, and I will put that in the Thermomix, and I will grind it with a little bit of water. That eggshells will help remove all the dirt and grime and the stickiness that's in your bowl. And to make it fresher, put some lemon. So this is balanced lemon that I have from about 5 days ago. It's a bit dried out, so I'm not going to use it to cook, but I will use it to clean my Thermomix. And after that, all you have to do is maybe a little bit light scrubbing, and it will smell fresh. It will look brand new. It will shine. And yeah, that's about it. If you made things...
Yeah, and that is exactly which comes to our second eco tip of the day. Don't throw away your eggshells or your lemons or your lime in my case, right? Because this is our eco tip which we're going to flash on our screens because you can reuse it to clean your mixing bowl as well as your blades really, really well. And later on, once Aisyah is done and we're going to have other presenters on the show also, Aisyah will also share some other fantastic tips what you can use, ingredients around the house that you already have naturally to clean your mixing bowl, your blade, or any other kitchen appliances that you may have at home that needs a little bit of a sparkle, or you want to remove, kadang-kadang ada bau dia yang macam termelekat kan. Jadi later on Aisyah will showcase with you guys some of the ways how you can clean your blade as well as your mixing bowl using leftover eggshells, your lemon, or if you've got baking powder at home which sudah expire, jangan kamu buang tu. It might not be working for your breads or your buns or whatever you're using for baking, but you can still use it to clean your appliances, your floor, your windows. It's just endless, guys. So use what you already have, don't throw it away, okay? So tip number 2, don't throw your eggshells or lemons or limes, reuse them, okay? Okay.
Okay, it's almost done. It has 30 seconds to go, but a little tip for this, once it's done, don't remove it right away. Let it sit in the in the jug for about 1 or 2 minutes to let it let all the wap absorb into the noodles, so it will be a little bit more sedap lah kan. Sebab you've got all your what's that? You've got all your kicap and everything, so
Yeah, I don't know what the exact term is for that in cooking terms, but you're basically like letting it stand so that it can absorb the smells and let it just, you're not making it cool down per se, but you're just making it like absorb whatever goodness, including the smell, the taste, and everything in. Oh, sudah kah, boss? Wow.
But for today, I'm just going to dish it out right away so that you can see it.
Are the girls with you? Or are they with your mom? Oh,
Asking for cropo.
okay. Wow, look at that. Now, one of the... when I first was contemplating on getting the Thermomix, the fast and easy bihun recipe was just all over viralized on my timeline. Those who have Thermomix, right? Thermomix, they will be showing. And I'm like, how does it do that? I mean, it has the blade, right? How does it not potong it to like kecil-kecil macam tu? So it has a reverse mode and a spoon mode. So that's the reason why it's also able to mix it without
Bihun
cutting
goreng
it
minum
properly.
dengan air ni sedap lah.
Oh.
Okay, I want to show you for the skeptics out there. It's not hancho. It's long pieces of mihun.
There you go, guys.
See? It's not. Yes, darling.
Wow. How many grams of mihun was that again? That's about a 1 packet, right?
Half a packet.
Half a
This is
packet.
200 grams.
Oh, there
Yes,
you go.
baby. Good job.
Inilah reality dia, us staying safe at home with our kids. For people like me, this is the best time for me to just upskill by learning more dishes to cook. You've got some eggs that you have already sort of made into omelets and sliced it up as garnishing.
Yeah.
And that.
Minus, if the kids was not around, this will be sprinkled with chili.
Ah, yes. Tak apa. You can make like, cili padi with kicap nanti.
Ta-da! And that's the mihun goreng. I did not mess my kitchen. It's done.
All right then. Thank you so much, Aisyah. I'm going to be getting you back later on because you're going to be sharing with us on how you can clean your blades and mixing bowl using staples from home and reusing whatever leftovers like eggshells and lemons in just a bit. But in the meantime, I'm going to pass over the spotlight to Masita. Now, Mas is a baker and she is actually one of our customers. She's not a sales advisor yet, but she'll be sharing with us her recipe, killer toast, that she's got from Cookidoo. And because she's a baker herself, I'm really interested to see what she thinks about the Thermomix and how it has helped her in her business. So if you can see, that is basically her baking lab. All right, she's a baker by profession. She's also purchased the Thermomix recently from Diva Romas, and she is ready to rock and roll. So, Mas,
Dia pergi mana berak?
tak dah. Okay, over to you. Today we are gonna be cooking, or you're gonna be baking killer toast, right?
Yes. A recipe from Cookidoo.
Okay. All right, so we've got the recipe over here. We're just gonna flash it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's flash the thing first.
So she's got like a real professional setup there. I'm not quite sure if there's a bit of a lag on her side. There's a bit of a Wi-Fi lag, but nonetheless, don't worry. Again, this killer toast is actually one of the recipes that new customers will be able to perfect in their 7-day perfect plan, where you do a little bit of a homework so you can get to know your Thermomix a little bit better. And Mas, anytime you want to interject, you just cakap je, okay? All right, so she's setting it up. It's from the Cookidoo. All you need is 1 egg, fresh milk, caster sugar, dried yeast, high protein flour or bread flour, salt and butter. Okay. Alamak,
I have measured everything first because this is a cooking show, or else then I will be scoop it up from container straight away to the mixing bowl. It's no need. Okay, grease our low pan.
Dia ada macam leggings.
I use spray one, easier.
Okay.
Legging.
So this killer toast is actually found in your Cookidoo. It also comes in your 7-day perfect plan, where you can, try all these menus suggested by Thermomix for you to sort of get to know your Thermomix a little bit better. And she's basically just following the prompts over her Cookidoo, which is an integrated recipe platform. For any new customer, you get it for free for 6 months.
1 egg.
Okay. I'm just filling in the gaps because I think there's slightly a bit of a lag on her end. Earlier on when we did the tech run, everything was fine. So she was saying how she replaces the milk with its, was it cream, Mas? Tak dengar dah.
Sorry again?
Yeah, so you're using pure fresh milk, right? Or you changed it to something else? Alah, lag sikit.
I use full cream milk.
Full cream milk, okay.
You can change it to nampak macam mana. Okay, and then eggs go in, milk, next put in, tester sugar.
Was it hard to adapt because you're so used to doing it manually? I mean, like, was it hard to adapt using the Thermomix as a baker yourself?
Not really. Not really. It's easy. It's just like you have to understand the process.
All right, so this is eco tip number 3. Whilst waiting for Mas to just continue her prep for her killer toast. Sekarang kan ingat tak masa MCO 1.0, everyone was rushing for the G brand bread. It was always out of stock. So Mas over here actually provided her community with enough abundant bread to be sold, and it just flew off. So whilst the pandemic took away lives and livelihoods of some people, it also brought community together, and it brought out skills that we never knew. I never knew that I would be interested in cooking meats and stuff like that. I was never a big fan of meats, but with the Thermomix, I decided to explore some meat options because of my husband. So yes, with the Thermomix, and this is a great eco tip too, you can make your own bread, your own sauces. I've made my own homemade stocks, either mushroom, billis, chicken stock. You can make your own jams, you can make your own kaya, you can even make your own condensed milk. Mas, boleh cula masuk anytime, okay? I need just popek-popek because it's slight. Oh, okay, now it's much better. Now you are kneading it, right?
Okay, now we can mix all the eggs, milk, sugar, and yeast, just to combine it together.
All
For
right.
about 1.5 minutes.
So this is one thing great about the Thermomix is that it has perfect temperature control, right? So it not just perfectly kneads, which we will demonstrate later on, but it has the perfect temperature control. So if you all know, as bakers out there, you need the perfect temperature for the yeast to be activated. Kadang-kadang ni kalau macam dapur Mas tu nampak macam quite okay lah, windy in that sense. Tapi ada kitchen yang ada aircon, ada kitchen yang terlalu panas, takut dia terproof faster than normal, or it doesn't proof at all because terlalu sejuk. So with the Thermomix, it actually sort of activates your yeast perfectly at 37 degrees Celsius, and it can go as high as 170 to caramelize your sugar if you want to do something with sugar. And that can be quite tricky, right, Mas? kalau kita nak pakai sugar, nak caramelize, it's quite a tricky process. Kadang-kadang I always overheat it kalau using your conventional wok or saucepan. Alamak, lag lagi. Tak apa. I can hear it.
Yes, memang leceh.
Okay. Dah dengar dah bunyi tu? You can also personalize the sound. And now we're adding in the flour, which is the bread flour, high protein flour. What is the significance of that? Kalau kita letak yang ada, when I started using this Thermomix baru nampak ada paula flour, ada cake flour, ada bread flour. I mean, why should we be using this high protein flour for breads?
Because their elasticity is very high. So bila you bake, you punya roti akan naik
I see.
compared to you use normal flour. Boleh juga, not a worry, boleh pakai. Tapi for gemuk one, you better use the high.
I see. And then kalau pau flour tu untuk buat kita punya mantau macam tu, what's the difference between that's low protein or what? Or also high protein? Kalau pau punya flour, dia kata pau flour.
Dia lagi soft, gebu. Yeah, of the pau.
Okay, sorry, I'm disturbing you. Continue.
Try not to put it close to the yeast.
Okay. That's a good tip. That's a very good tip.
Okay, because it will.
I'm so sorry, guys. Earlier on, we had the tech run and it was okay. I'm not quite sure what's happening on the one there and there. Tapi tak apa, kita tengok.
Now kita akan start kneading.
I nak tahu, okay? And you can be honest about this, Mas. I see behind you, you've got a more professional looking, I don't know, it looks like a mixer, a blender, whatever to me. How would you rate the Thermomix in terms of your more professional equipment when it comes to baking?
Ini normally kalau use normal mixer, lama lah.
Oh, so the TM6 is definitely faster as it claims. Because I wanted to hear an honest opinion from a user, a baker. Interesting, huh? So it is much faster. I'm not sure if it has something to do with also the...
A bit jog. I tak berapa dengar.
I'm losing you, Mas. It's
This
okay.
take about 42 minutes, yeah?
Alright, so 40 minutes, huh? To proof, is it?
Minutes for kneading.
Okay, so it needs 20 minutes to proof, to go to kembang lah kan, to rise, and then it takes another 40 to 45 minutes to bake. But I believe that Mas has already pre-prepared a proved dough so that she can have make that in advance because we're looking at the timing right now. Ada kan, Mas?
Actually, dia dah ready to bake. I'll show you.
Alright, so don't be alarmed. When it's kneading, it does have a little bit of a joget. It does dances a bit. So if you know her counter is quite okay, but if your counter is really, really tight, you want to hold on to it if you feel like macam cuak lah. In my case, I just leave it because my counter is big enough. But yes, it happens, so don't be alarmed. And it's just about 2 minutes or 4 minutes or so in most cases. I've done the kneading process for my mantau buns, which takes just 2 minutes. During the olden days, kalau kita uli pakai tangan, ya Allah Tuhanku, about 15-20 minutes. I remember those days. Even if you have a mixer, like a particular brand, the KA brand, I think I needed for about 15 minutes. But this one takes about 2-4 minutes max. So it's definitely faster, and Mas has just sort of clarified and testified that it is a little bit more faster than the conventional mixing machines or kneading machines that she has tried on as a baker herself. Just to let you all know that she has a business, it's called Cita Petite Tartlets. So cantik the name. Cita Petite Tartlets. So you can go and head over to her Instagram page, and if you are feeling, you want something sweet and dessert-like and yummy and delicious and visually, aesthetically beautiful, head on over to her Instagram and show our sister here some love, alright? Okay, so nampaknya kneading pun dah
Kita add
siap.
butter ya. Bit by bit.
There's a little bit of a lull here, but not to worry. Again, to viewers at home, this is Mas, who's a baker, and she is demonstrating how you can make killer toast. It's literally called killer toast in the Cookidoo recipe platform. So I remember during the MCO, everyone was rushing out for loaves of breads because it was just running low in stock. So she actually provided and sold her breads, which was simply delicious according to her advisors who are friends of ours. And that's the reason why we wanted her to demonstrate her killer toast and perhaps share some tips with us. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a lag on her end. I'm not quite sure if it's the Wi-Fi or not. Okay, we've got the proof bread already that she's done in advance.
While waiting for the TM6 to kneading, this is the one that I mentioned earlier. I make two. So earlier we already heat up our oven. That is the most important thing. You must heat up your oven before, at least 20 minutes before baking. And you must know your oven as much as you know your husband.
What's that? Talking about the oven, is it?
Kalau kita tak nak our bread on top of it dry, we can always spray it with water
Oh, that's
before
the tip.
put it in the oven.
I see. Okay, so spray it lightly with water before you pop it in the oven, and preheat your oven at least 20 minutes before you're gonna start baking it. And yeah, that's a nice tip. So that's why it doesn't get that crack lah kan. How do you know if it's risen properly or to its optimum size, Mas? Lah, potong lagi.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. All right, Mas, I'm gonna just leave you at it, and I'm gonna just and I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Just a little tip, maybe you can just go in and out later on. Just check on the Wi-Fi because it's just a pity that we can't really hear you clearly. So nanti you go in and out, just check on your Wi-Fi, and I'll see you in a bit, about 40 minutes from now. Thank you so much, Mas. All right, so that was Mas. Her IG is Cita Petite Tartlets if you're keen to find out a little bit more about her business. In the meantime, while we wait for her killer toast to bake in the oven for about 40 minutes, I'm going to pass over the spotlight over to my sales advisor, Ain and Rino. Over to you.
Hai semua, Assalamualaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Boleh dengar? Alhamdulillah. Okay, hai semua. My name is Ain. I'm one of the Thermomix advisor daripada Diva Romance. Alright, semua. Okay, semua. Hari ni Ain tak masak. Okay? Ain tak masak. Okay. Apa yang Ain nak bawa pada semua, Ain nak show pada korang semua yang Thermomix 6 ni, TM6 ni, every members dalam family boleh masak. So hari ni Ain nak suruh my husband yang jadi chef. Okay? So dia nak tunjukkan dia punya skill menggunakan TM6 dengan masak almond butter. Okay? So bayangkanlah husband boleh masak kan? So kita tengok dia punya magic macam mana. Jadi ke tak jadi, alright? So I'm gonna pass to my husband ya. Wait, Rino will take it.
Okay, dengar.
Opa in the house.
Assalamualaikum, hai, saya Rino. So saya nak buat apa ni?
Hari kita nak buat almond peanut butter apa?
Yes, hari ni kita nak buat almond peanut butter. Actually, before I buat benda ni, I dah training dulu lah buat benda ni. So, baru I yakin kan. Kalau tak macam mana I nak buat cooking show kan benda ni. So, dah lah tak pernah masak kan. So, I nak tunjuk macam mana nak buat. So, I boleh tunjuk
Boleh. Go ahead.
Okay. First kali kita choose resepi tu dalam Thermomix. Ke nak cakap bahasa Inggeris?
Tak apa, cakap Melayu,
lah.
kita kan Malaysians.
Okay. So, first kali kita check apa tu resepi tu dalam Cookidoo kan. Actually ada resepi almond butter dalam Cookidoo. Tapi I prefer guna peanut butter punya resepi. Kenapa nanti I bagi tahu So I choose peanut butter punya resepi. Tapi tak apa, tukar kacang dia. So start cooking. So first kali dia suruh letak the almond kan. Okay, zerokan dia dulu. Ni almond dia, nampak? Boleh lah kan. Basically I dah timbang siap dah. Dalam around 7 ounce. 7 ounce tu tak tahu berapa gram. Lebih kurang lah, beratus-ratus gram lah. So okay dah. So and then next. Lepas tu kita tutup. Alright, next. Lepas tu kita akan blend dalam around 15 second lah. Ni semua dah tunggu. Bila kita je nak tekan, pilih sing. So okay dah siap. Tak siap lagi. Tadi siap. Okay, apa yang kita perlu buat, kita scrape down. Tapi tak payah scrape down sangat lah ni. Semua ni terjatuh. Nak tengok tak macam mana dia pecah? Ke tak payah? Ni boleh tengok kan. Dah powdery sikit lah. Tapi the process belum lagi siap. So dah scrape down. Pasal apa saya pakai resepi apa tu? Peanut butter ni. Pasal dia ada satu arahan dia untuk kita tambah untuk taste kita tau. So masa ni kita boleh get kreatif apa yang kita nak letak. So basically dalam ni dia suruh letak peanut oil. Tapi I pakai coconut oil lah. So far memang boleh je pakai coconut oil untuk buat butter-butter ni. I dah kaji kan. So basically dia suruh letak around half of tablespoon tu. Tapi kita half tablespoon lah. Half ounce. Kita letak around dalam 20 ml macam tu kot saya rasa ni. Ni bagi dia lagi creamy lah. Bukan creamy lah, macam bagi lagi sedap lah makanan. Makan keras-keras kan kering kan tak best lah kan. So pasal kita nak bagi dia different daripada almond yang biasa. So kita add in something lah bagi dia sedap. Pasal kalau pernah beli almond butter kan, dia tawar lah. Budak-budak mesti tak suka. So yang kita boleh buat, kita letak gula. Nah, this is not gula. Ni I punya substitute gula. Pasal I buat keto diet. So I pakai substitute gula lah supaya my keto diet tak rosak lah. Tapi belakangan ni asyik rosak pasal Why asyik masak sedap-sedap je. Dia pula buat demo buat sedap je. So kita letak gula pula. Bagi dia untuk, ni this is for taste lah. Ikut preference you, macam mana you nak manis dia. Macam tu. Alright. Kalau letak gula kita, dalam in this case, I letaklah kantor. So you boleh check kat website lah. You boleh google lah whether macam mana you nak substitute lah kantor tu dengan sugar untuk maintain the taste. Maintain bukan the taste. The taste maybe a little bit different. Maintain the sweetness lah. So apa yang I buat, I tambah lagi dark chocolate. Dark chocolate kan banyak health benefit juga kan. Dari samping dia sedap kan. So I letak dark chocolate lah. Ni around dalam 20 gram juga tu lah. So lagi I hack resipi ni. I tambah chia seed lah. So nampak macam healthy lah kan. So bukan, dia actually healthy lah. Chia seed kan bagus kan. Omega 3 lah I rasa. Bagus lah dia punya tu. Punya health benefit. Tak salib lah kan. So okay, dah add semua dah. Next. So tutup. And then kita continue buat dia punya tu. So kita akan blend around 1 minute on speed 5. So masa ni dia mix semua benda lah. Basically kita punya almond tu dah hancur dah, tapi dia akan smooth lagi lah. Jadi proses membutterkan peanut ke almond ke apa memang akan take time. Even I pernah tanya kawan I, dia buat pakai dia punya blender Breville dia kan. Dia cakap memang lama. Memang, and then kita kena selalu tengok lah kan. Konsistensi dia tu kita kena apa dia ke apa kan. Tapi insyaAllah kalau kita follow je resipi Thermomix ni, dia dah jadi just nice lah untuk apa yang kita biasa makan lah. Tapi resipi ni juga bagi kita choice untuk kita decide whether kita nak smoothkan lagi ke. Nanti boleh tengok yang apa kemudian punya apa tu guide dia. So okay, kita tekan next. So dia cakap dah kalau a smoother consistency. Tapi from what I tengok sekarang ni, I rasa dah tak payah buat. Dah cantik dah. Ni tak apa tunjuk. Nampak? Tak apa dah tak tunjuk I tetap. So basically dah siap our butter. So kita scrape down.
Wow, that looks good.
Ini kira macam I punya Nutella substitute lah. I kan badan comel kan. So I memang selalu craving lah benda-benda manis. So peanut butter ni macam macam mana I punya go to punya apa craving punya makanan lah. At least I tak ada damage my
Dan
keto
salah
punya
satu
tu kan.
daripada reasons that you purchased the TM6 and now became an advisor, and congratulations by the way Ain Rino for completing your NAEP dan juga Fast and Furious dan juga dapat insentif kerana berjaya sell 2 units during your period 4. One of the reasons why you did this or bought it is because you are on a keto diet, right? Nampak dengar tak anak-anak ni bising ni? Kan? Okay, dah siap ke?
Betul. Dah siap dah. I tinggal nak letak
Dah
je.
siap. Alright, so he's gonna now put it into the jar, and later on I'll be sharing with you all our pictures, our after pictures after the show is done. Tapi sebenarnya this is our next eco tip, which is repurpose your glass jars, guys. Okay, jangan buang, because kadang-kadang, especially now that you've got your Thermomix with you, you'll be making a lot of homemade sauces, pasta sauces, your homemade chicken stocks or your any stocks, jams, you name it. So you can actually repurpose your jars. And did you know that your Varoma dish can actually sterilize all these jars because you're steaming it? You can also sterilize your baby bottles. So before this, if you've got like a baby sterilizer, you can also opt to use this and put that aside or give it away, sell it for pre-love, because you can do that now with your Thermomix, okay? So now that Ain Rino, thank you so much to my sales advisors for showcasing their keto-friendly almond butter. Boleh juga guna peanut butter, tapi they chose almond butter. I'm going to be showcasing another recipe that I have, which I've already saved again in my Cookidoo recipe. This called steamed scallops with sweet pea puree. Okay, so I'm going to showcase it with you guys now. I would never, ever in my life attempt to make scallops because they're just so susah to masak, you know. They have to be seared. They've got to be like, you know, handled gently. But with the Thermomix, I can do all that and create such a creative, beautiful look. Hopefully, inshallah. This is actually my first time, so I'm going to be doing it together with you, okay? So I've got my scallops, which I've already seasoned with salt and pepper in advance. All right? And I've used, because eco-friendly so I don't use any kitchen paper towels. I actually use my Norwex cloth just to soak up the excess moist or water. And then I am going to follow the recipe as per prompts. Okay? Jadi apa kita buat? First, we're going to place 12 jumbo sea scallops, clean and patted dry, onto the Varoma tray. So I'm going to put it here. And the trick is to ensure you don't cover all the holes. I think this will be sufficient because I'm only using about 14 scallops here, and I've already seasoned it with salt and pepper. Okay, so it's already been patted dry, and I'm just gonna put it here so that it still chantics. This was actually bought frozen, so I defrosted it. I thawed it out last night. I left it in my fridge. So that's that. Okay. Next, what's next? Kita ikut sahaja. I've done the seasoning. That's done. Insert varoma tray into varoma dish. Done. Secure varoma lid and set aside. Now I'm going to set this aside and leave it here. Basically, that's just to season it. I like to season my meats a little bit more in advance. So I need to place half a teaspoon of fine sea salt. In this case, I've got my Himalaya salt. Hi, Iman. How's everything? Okay, so placing that in. A teaspoon of ground black pepper. I'm just gonna grind in give it about 10 swirls or so, because I've got mine in peppercorn format, boleh, format. Macam lah, komputer kan mau berformat konun. Saya grind dia masuk terus. Ui, bau. 1 garlic clove, I'm gonna pop it in. 3 sprigs of parsley, which I grow also. One day I will be showcasing on how you can make your very own greenhouse herb garden in the convenience of your house. That's going to be my next project. So 3 sprigs of parsley, and then next I'm going to add in 3 sprigs of fresh thyme. They're very sensitive, these herbs, but I'm going to show you how you can actually grow them maybe in another segment. So just the leaves only. So we're going to just put in all the down. Oh, the smell is just so fantastic. Simply fantastic, Mr. Bombastic. I can't see the comments right now, but if you are there, Anis, I know she is my silent business partner. She also has the Varomas, and she's in Jamaica right now. Ada kah dia? Oh, she's sleeping already, kasihan. So we need 1 lemon, just the peel, which I've already sediadi in advance. So I'm going to put that all in. So this was the lemon that I wanted to save. That's why I use my kasturi instead for the welcome drink. Insert measuring cup into the mixing bowl. And then we're going to press next. And we're going to chop it in 10 seconds. So what it's going to do here is it's just going to chop it and make it a little bit more finer, because this will be the puree that I'll be steaming along with the peas whilst it's steaming my scallops into goodness, okay? Into goodness, boleh macam tu. Alright, so this is how it looks like, guys. And it is so delish. Okay, just going to scrape it down. Honestly, I like using a slightly thinner spatula when I'm scraping things down, but the spatula that is provided with Thermomix does its job too. It's just that sometimes when it's a little bit more finer, I like using a slightly slimmer spatula. That's my personal take, at least. But this is the only spatula that you can use when using the guided cooking, and they are asking you to insert the spatula inside, all right? And then I'm going to add in the lemon juice, which I have squeezed earlier on. Ada biji-biji dia lagi, about 2 ounces. So I'm just going to strain to make sure the biji tidak masuk, because dia punya biji tu ada pahit sikit bah, jadi tidak mau tu kan. Lepas tu kita letak 10 ounces of sweet peas. This is actually my husband's sweet peas that I had to shoot it from him because it's actually for his ikan. And there was a bit of kelebihan, so I'm just going to pour everything in anyway. So it's slightly above 10 ounces to be quite frank. Oh, there you go. It's about 11 ounces instead. And then I'm going to add in olive oil. Now, olive oil, if you're cooking it using the conventional wok, the danger to it is that kadang-kadang dia ter-overheat ba, habis kau tidak boleh control kan dia punya temperature. But with the Thermomix, when you are sauteing it or aromaing it and you're not making it too high, it's going to be safe. You're actually going to have the optimum taste as well as the nutrients of the olive oil, because you're not overheating it, as well as it's not going to be toxic for you and the family, okay? So that's the reason why I also love using the Thermomix, because you're creating all these beautiful, creative dishes that you would think that you'll never attempt in your life, at least for me. And it cooks it beautifully and healthily and makes sure that it also retains all its nutrients, okay? So sekarang saya akan letakkan the varoma into position. So we're going to add back the lid. I'm going to remove the measuring cup, which also serves as a seal for our lid. I'm going to place the varoma into position, and I'm going to varoma it or steam it for about 10 minutes as per the recipe. And whilst this is ongoing, we're going to head over back to Aisyah, who's going to showcase, okay, just quickly before I move back to Aisyah, the reason why we wanted to showcase this Cookidoo also is because you can sort of plan your meals in ahead, which is going to be flashed right now. Eco tip number 5, plan your meals in advance and then buy or go shopping and buy for a whole week. That way you don't have to make numerous trips to the groceries, or in this case, as we stay safe at home, you're just having one delivery charge for all the groceries that you need in a week, okay? And you can actually plan your meals according to the Cookidoo that you have, and then you can save, you can see what is lacking in the pantry, so you can sort of add that into your shopping list, and then you can plan accordingly, so there is no wastage. So this is another reason why I love my Thermomix. You're saving money, you're saving time. At the end of the day, you're able to plan in advance, so you don't have to pikir ba. Satu kan masalah saya ni, saya suka terlampau berfikir ba. Saya tidak mau pikir pasal benda-benda yang remeh-temeh. You know, I need to utilize and optimize my brain to do other productive stuff. So if you plan in advance, it's just like how you schedule your time and follow and execute through, then you have so much more better time management and be able to focus on the priorities in your life fairly or more balanced in that sense, okay? So that's one. And of course, here, this basically shows how you can cook delicious meals all in 4 layers. As I mentioned earlier on, that simmering basket that I showcased, where I was showing how you can strain, it also serves as a strainer. You can cook your rice there, you can cook your potatoes, you can have like your soups, and then here you can put in your meats, and above you can put in your vegetables. So all in one go, you can prepare a meal as fast as 30 minutes for the whole family. So it's so easy, and it is so time efficient. And again, if you plan in advance, all your shopping needs are done in advance so that you don't waste money. There's nothing that's going to be thrown out of the fridge at the end of the day. And if you do have any, like what Aisyah and I had mentioned earlier on, you know, don't throw them away. Some of the things are quite useful, and Aisha's going to be sharing that right now on how you can use those, you know, eggshells that's been lying around, or lime grind, or baking soda in cleaning your kitchen appliances, especially your Thermomix. So I'm going to head over back the spotlight to Aisha. The stage is yours.
Okay, so this tip I actually learned from Daphne, and it's quite simple. You have your eggshells, you put it in. First, I want to show you, I've taken out as much of the noodles that I can, and we're just going to pop this in. It will go for 8 seconds on full speed. So the eggshell dust is what's going to lift up all the mess at the bottom. Okay. Now I'm gonna add in my lemon to make it smell good. 5 seconds. Done. Oh my god, I know it's like, it's cleaning, but it actually smells really good. Okay, now we're just going to put a little bit of water to cover the blade. Close it up. This will go for 30 minutes on 50 Celsius. So the heat will help lift up all the dirt and grime, all the oil, it will melt it away. So later on, after it's done, all you have to do is pour it out and rinse it out. And if there is a little bit still stuck here and there, you can just brush it a little bit. You can get like these kind of brushes for around the blades, and yeah, that's about it. Like, you don't have to scrape it so much. You might ruin your bowl. So that's 50. I don't remember. I think it's just, how many? I think it was 3. But this is Googleable. You can look up. There is so many tips online that you can look for. There are many ways to clean your bowl. There is, like, if you cook something that is very strong in odor, very garlicky, very gingery, and you want to get rid of it because your next meal is a cake, you just need to add in a bit of baking soda, a little bit of water, turn it into a paste, rub it on the inside, let it sit for probably 10 to 15 minutes, gently scrub it, and everything will go away. It's good as new. Oily stains, I did a TikTok on that. That's so easy. Basically, you just add water, choose the pre-clean mode, put a pump of dishwash. Don't put too much because it will start foaming. And you're done. You don't have to do anything. Like, so perfect for someone like me.
Especially kalau dia berminyak.
Yeah. If you don't have lemon, vinegar is a great substitute, or anything acidic, I guess. I guess it's trial and error what you're comfortable with. Yeah, I guess one of the things that sold it to me about the Thermomix was the pre-clean mode. Not kidding. I have phobias with blades. I have this imagination that every time I wash a blender, I will get cut. I don't know why. So, because of that, when I saw all these videos of people doing demos, I'm like, my God, that's perfect. The best.
And here's another tip. You know, kadang-kadang kita masak dengan kunyit tau kan, Aisyah. You know, sometimes we have turmeric. So it will cause a bit of a discoloration on your lid or your blade cover. So what you can do is actually jemur it under the sun. So not direct sunlight, but it's just magic. Initially, when one of my advisors told me that, I'm like, biar betul kan? So I tested it with also a white color plastic bowl with my lid, because it's a bit grayish kan in color. And it's true. So if you have like yellowish stains caused by the turmeric or your kunyit, you just jemur dekat matahari, insyaAllah it will disappear. You know, not direct. You don't want it to burn at the end of the day kan. I mean, you don't want it to rosak lah kan. At the end of the day, it's still BPA plastic kan. Tapi you just jemur, maybe it's a bit shaded, but definitely where the sun can see, where it goes through, and it will disappear. I don't know how it works, but yes. See, the power of God's nature is able to help you, you know, with life, just like how it's meant to be, all right? So these are some of the eco tips that Aisyah has shared, so thank you so much. Alternatively, you can also get, if you are trying to clean your blades, sometimes it gets a little bit stuck in between your blades. What I've done is, initially before I bought my brush, they've actually got a brush. I'm going to show it to you guys, okay? Alamak, don't know where it went. Oh, it's here. Okay, so this is the Thermomix brush that you can actually get online. It's also sold on other third-party platforms. But before I had this is about 15, 12 ringgit. You can also use a toothbrush to just get all the gunk out, okay? And here I'm just plugging it in only because I'm a true believer of Nowex also. If you can just invest in the stainless steel cloth, that's pretty amazing to sort of give your mixing bowl a nice shiny gleam, okay? Otherwise, just use your baking soda, vinegar, and then add in the lime or lemon grinds that you have or rinds that you have, and that's fantastic. Also, it will take out and clean it up as much. And then, you know, don't throw away those eggshells that has been crushed. I've got my eggs here and I've been doing that for the past few days because I've been cooking a lot every day. So I use that powdery, already crushed eggshells, and I just tabur lah dekat my garden. The same garden that had my kasturi growing. Gitu. Can you hear my anak or not? I am so sorry. This was supposed to start at 10:30, but we had a bit of a glitch. And now I'm just waiting for 39 seconds before I almost complete my steamed scallops with puree, pea puree, sweet pea puree. And it's just as easy as that, guys. Can you imagine that this just took about less than 15 minutes? I'm going to add in the cream, whipping cream, and then I'm done. I just have to susun-susun and then macam kasih garnish sikit. That part, I fail a bit lah. But dia punya taste tu, saya bau pun macam confident sudah sedap ini kan. And of course, earlier on, I had made my kasturi aid atau my limeade. And it's just made out of kasturi from my garden, a bit of sugar. I halved the recipe and then I grinded it using my Thermomix on turbo. And then it's just like that. And my husband said, sadap, okay? So when you're lifting, so these are to those who are new to Thermomix. If you're lifting out the lid right after it's been steamed, you wanna lift it up, let the water run through first. The steam is away from you for safety reasons because it's very, very hot. Okay, I'm gonna just press next. So I'm just gonna do that first because I'm gonna use the lid as my base. Because there might be water underneath, you know. Every time I say base, that song Ace of Base comes. You know, like, I saw the sign and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign. Kau nampak wangi dia. Tidak terbakar. Tidak payah sia-sia lagi. And then dia macam healthy because kau steam dia. Kan? Alright, so that's done. And then I'm going to add in 3 ounces of heavy whipping cream. Sorry, I was supposed to tear, tapi saya terpress next. Okay? I always check, even though the expiry date of this is much later, but I always check because pernah sekali kan, the expiry, alamak, terlebih. Itulah, popek, bebel, terus tak keluar terlampau. Biarlah habis saya punya piece tadi pun banyak kan, by 1 ounce. Jadi saya punya krim pun lebih by 1 ounce. Indah apa? That's what we mean by, you know, kita you know, adapt along the way. So I'm going to put back the measuring cup. The measuring cup is about 50 and 100 that you can do as a measuring cup, but it also seals the hole in on your mixing bowl punya lid. And then I'm going to just turn it to 10 to puree it for 10 seconds, and then we are almost done. So whilst waiting for that, I am going to gently use my hands to susun my scallops. Nah kan, sebelum tidak habis saya punya mau susun-susun, sudah dia habis puree saya punya sweet pea yang saya curi. Actually makanan anak saya punya husband punya ikan ba. My fish eat like really good stuff. They've got bloodworms, they've got sweet peas that has been boiled and then crushed. Dia bukan remove lagi dia punya kulit tu. Okay? Okay, saya punya presentation bukan macam drang yang tera-tera, tapi janji kivada love. Cooked with love by Pon. Okay? Divide pea puree and steamed scallops between 4 plates and serve immediately. Well, I'm gonna let the kids all eat in one go. Jadi kau tengok ba. Oh lola punya wangi ni, kau tengok ba dia punya puree ni. So this is great. If you got babies, this is also something that you can feed the baby like Elan, but he doesn't eat. He eats puree anymore because dia sudah basar. Actually, you know what I should have done? I should have put some, I should have put the puree in first and then put the scallops on, kan? Fail betul lah, fail. Hey, then macam real. Macam we didn't cook in the office today, Anis, because we wanted to test out this new system. Okay, I'm just going to leave 1 scallop alone there, but I'm going to put the base with a bit of puree, and then later on, I'm going to plate it with the scallops, and then dia macam real lah. Dia macam ala-ala Jamie Oliver begitu, tapi ini Daphne Iking begitu. Apa ini mau Jamie Oliver? Daphne Iking pun boleh basuh mandak Sabah, and it's just like that, guys. Can you imagine? From someone who's a total pro like Mas, who I'm not sure if she's already on, because she's going to give me the cue once her killer toast is ready, to someone who is on a keto journey like Rino and Ain, and Okay, macam terlebih pula. Never mind, I'm going to. And then you see it has a bit of a browning. So later on I'm going to use my excess lemon as well as my eggshells that I kumpul over the week to macam kasih bersih dia betul-betul. Although admittedly sini pun ada dia punya cleaning mode. So you have like universal, you have dough, you have browning or caramelization, because caramelization is a little bit more trickier to clean. But with the Thermomix cleaning mode, you can actually get all that gunk out much more easy. So it takes about, 90% of your cleaning done. Oi, okay lah, boleh lah. One thing about me, I failed in arts, okay? But boleh lah. Saya rasa terus saya kasih macam decorate sikit lah sama sprigs of thyme that I have. So that dia nampak macam ala-ala Daphne, Chef Daphne Iking. Jadi saya macam cucuk dia lah gitu. Alamak. If I had like some reds, maybe I put yellow. See, I left some rind pula, rind.
Boleh kan?
And it is done. Okay. We're just gonna let it stay. And we're gonna, nanti jangan makan dulu Alina. Saya mau ambil gambar dulu, okay? Kita kena ambil gambar dulu benda ni. In the meantime, I'm not sure if Mas, how are you doing with your baking? Okay kah?
Okay, lagi 10 minit untuk.
Alright, I'm gonna head down upstairs now.
Okay. So, in time I tunjuk cara nak roll the dough.
Okay, so whilst waiting for Mas dah siap ke belum kan? Kalau tak siap lagi, allow me to just babble a little bit more about some of the features of Thermomix.
Kita ada lagi 10 minit to bake.
10 more minutes, ah?
But meantime, I can show you how to roll the dough.
Okay, great.
Very quick one.
Now dah better sikit kita punya line. Alhamdulillah. Okay.
So another tips, kalau tak nak pakai tepung during handling the dough, you can use any oil, corn oil pun boleh, so it won't stick to your hand also. Nampak tak?
Tak nampak? Lagi, belakang
Tak
sikit.
nampak. Sekejap, I tunduk sikit. Meja tak cukup panjang.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Nampak?
Yes. Oh, so you can sebenarnya pakai basahkan tangan je, tak payah pakai flour sahaja. I always make a mess.
I pakai minyak jab.
Okay.
Tapi very lightly grease your hand.
Alright.
Okay, and then grease your apa benda Allah ni, pusing-pusing ni, nama pun tak ingat dah.
The rolling pin. Hari tu kita punya advisor, dia tak boleh jumpa dia punya rolling pin. So dia actually use a bottle of water and just use that instead, si Suzy.
Okay, anything will do actually. So you roll it. My guideline senang je. Kalau kita punya mold, you just make sure dia sama size.
Ni pak ni, I always fail lah. Okay, so you roll it so that
Buang ke angin. Tak payah thin sangat. Because ini loaf kan. You just make sure dia bentuk rectangular. Then from here, then here, and just roll it.
That's
Roll
how
it.
you do it.
Then you can like seal it like this. Picit sikit. Roll sikit bagi dia in shape.
Okay.
Then transfer to your baking mold.
Right, that's how you do it. I main belasah letak
Nampak tak dalam?
je.
Tak nampak lah. Macam ni?
Nampak. There you go. Nampak. Oh, okay. So it doesn't have to be like betul-betul ikut mold dia because nanti dia akan kembang kan, Mas?
Yes. So, kena pakai mold yang sesuai dengan berat tu.
Okay.
Like, I perasan yang kilo toast ni dough dia sesuai untuk 450 grams punya mold. Normally kalau beli mold dia akan ada tulis dekat sini tau berapa gram.
Okay.
So you all tengok.
Oh, okay. That's
So
a tip
then
for you guys.
let it rise lah, boleh cover dengan apa tu, whatever wrap ke dan cloth ke apa ke sampai almost 90% full of the baking mold, then ready to bake.
Tu je. So
Itu
easy,
je.
guys.
So let me check yang oven punya, I think should be ready.
Alright, so Masita here, thank God, now her Wi-Fi was okay because earlier on we had a bit of problems with, there was a slight lag. But she's a professional baker and she's one of our customers with Diva Roma's group. Inshallah, she might join us as a sales advisor, who knows? But that is her burger pula, nampak lab burger. Her baking lab, okay? And she is sharing with us her killer toast, which is also a recipe that's found in your Cookidoo, and that looks beautiful. Now, one of the tips that she shared with us is supaya dia tak kering, kadang-kadang macam ada kerak-kerak kan. Wah, dua terus dia buat. One for mommy, one for daddy, one for anak ada anak. Is to spritz a bit of water so it won't dry up.
Okay, sometimes kita suka dia very crusty on top kan. So just biar dia sejuk macam ni, but I suka atas dia a bit soft. So just take butter, sapu saja.
Tu je. Oh, and that's where it has that nice gleam. Berapa lama
Jadi
this
shiny.
one? Because this is no preservatives per se. So how long, I mean, I could whack that in one sitting. Tapi biasanya
I
berapa
dah
lama?
atas 3 hari outside in kedap udara punya container. 3 days, 3 to 4 days.
Ah, okay. 2-3 days, but looking at that killer toast, dia boleh habis ni. Sehari pun boleh habis ni.
Where is my panjang punya spatula?
You know, one day we need to have one session with you on how do you optimize your kitchen space so that dia macam senang nak dapat semua. You know? Oh, so
Yes.
you separate it with that, I don't know.
Loosen up sikit tepi-tepi dia
Okay.
before you take it out.
Okay, that's another tip for you, Daphne. Iking ni, I mind boom, like throw it down, like panas, boom, boom.
Yang memang panas.
And this goes beautifully with the almond butter also that has been prepared by Ain Rino. Okay, this is the part. Mine I always terplay out, and then the top part dia terplay out lah. Dia terkemek sikit.
Itu kalau dengan kaya dengan butter.
Ikan kari.
Cicak kari tu dia. Cicak kari pun boleh. That's why it's called killer toast. So you can make it, you can cut it a little bit more thicker in slice. Straight away dia buat dua terus. Tu dia. I mean, wow. Her place is like a professional huge ass oven there. Nampak kemas je you punya dapur ni. And how long do you have to let it cool down before you boleh potong?
Panas pun boleh.
Oh, really?
Normally I biar dia about 1 hour and a half lah. Siap. Wait.
Wow. That looks so good and it has proved so beautifully, and all again using just the Thermomix. Mas, any final words for those who may be a little bit skeptical about the Thermomix as a professional baker yourself? Dia memudahkan kan? Memudahkan kerja you ke tak? And you can be completely honest. Share it with us.
Okay. I was skeptical tau at first. Frankly speaking. So, tapi bila I decided to guna, ia mempercepatkan my work. And normally kalau I baking banyak, I tak akan masak tau. There's no way I akan masak. So, dengan adanya Thermomix ni, I boleh masak, I boleh baking at the same time.
Alhamdulillah.
Semua tip-top.
Great. Thank you so much, Mas, for sharing your killer toast tips and tricks with us and the viewers at home. And I shall be seeing you in our big noisy group chat at Diva Roma's TM6 group. Thank you so much. Inshallah, we will meet face to face someday soon, yeah? In the meantime, I guess I'll just have to order at Cita Petite Tartlets, which is your business page on Instagram.
Do check out my IG.
All right. Thank you so much, Mas.
Right, thank
Terima
you
kasih.
for having me.
Happy World Environment Day, yeah? All right, guys. Just before we conclude our show, thank you so much. I'm not sure if Ain Rino are still around because I just want to see if they've got the end product, but it's okay if they're not there. Again, we're always getting the temperature right, all right? So I'm going to flash a little bit more about the Thermomix. Getting the temperature right is one thing. Okay, you can even make healthy homemade sorbet, ice cream, and which is all healthy. So Ain and Rino, can I just see if you guys are there? Can I just see how it looks like? Boleh dekat sikit tak dengan kamera? Kita nak tunjukkan. So this is a keto-friendly almond butter. Hello.
Boleh nampak tak?
tu
Boleh nampak.
dia. So instead of using Nutella, which is a popular brand for hazelnut, you can make your own almond butter from scratch. That looks delicious and it goes so well with the killer toast that Mas just shared with us. All right, so thank you so much, Ain Rino.
Go, Man United, Rina. Go,
Glory,
Man
glory,
United.
glory, glory.
Whatever, guys, whatever. Ya Allah. And please share with us the pictures after this, all right? Send some over. My goodness, I wish I was in Denai Alam right now. Okay, moving back, just to conclude our show, you can even make healthy homemade sorbet and ice cream. It's very nourishing and flavorful because if you use the slow cook method, which can go up to 8 hours in reverse mode, 37 and 98 degrees, which is the perfect temperature for slow cook mode. So you can make beef stew, braised duck, lamb shanks, as well as, you know, macam-macam lagi, soups and stuff, especially if you're a big fan of chicken soup, you can do that. I'm going to attempt to make Brand's Essence, well, not Brand's because that's like a brand of the brand, but Essence, chicken essence. You can also do that. I'm just waiting for my fresh ayam kampung to arrive. You can make your own cheese and yogurt with the fermentation mode. You can do sous vide. Yes, I've tried it with Rino and the meats are just perfect. I've done it with the salmon too. And these are some of the benefits of cooking with Thermomix, as you can see and had mentioned by even one of our customers who's happy with the Thermomix. She's a professional baker. She says it's quick and easy. Everyone can cook now like yours truly. It's healthier. It's auto cooking, auto washing. It saves space. I've actually given away and sold some of my appliances and making more space in my counter. And it's also goodbye to cooking fumes. Normally I would do the cooking here in this live stream studio, but there's no smell afterwards, right? So you can own your Thermomix today. There's full payment. It's actually at 7188 right now, but there's a special voucher that's given for a discount of 200, I guess because of the MCO that they're feeling a little bit generous. So it's 6988, or you can also opt for financing it. So there's installments, zero free interest for 6, 12, 18, and 24, or you can place in a deposit of about 2988, and the 4,000 can be, you know, sort of deducted using your debit card, a recurring payment. So you can, if you calculate, it can go as low as 9 ringgit a day. You're paying 9 ringgit. If you do the calculation, eventually this beautiful, smart, all-in-one kitchen is yours for keepers, okay? And again, it lasts a long time. The software is constantly updating itself. Since I purchased mine last year, it's already updated 5 times and you're still paying for the same price. You're not like when you need to upgrade, like an iPhone, for instance. If you want to upgrade an iPhone, you have to buy the whole new model, right? But the software upgrades as long as you have strong Wi-Fi connectivity. It will give you a prompt to sort of update your software as and when, okay? So it's a complete package. If you become a customer with Diva Aromas, of course, we've got cooking classes that we have, free delivery, there's recipe sharing. We've got a very enthusiastic group of friends in our WhatsApp and Telegram group that's always constantly sharing tips and tricks as well as recipes, so you're never out of ideas on what to cook next. There's also an unboxing service that we also try to help all our customers so they are more familiar with their Thermomix. We've got, of course, our wonderful personal advisors. They're always there to support you, and there is a 2-year warranty for home use. But if you're using it in a restaurant, then I'm going to just give a little disclaimer that it will be a warranty of 1 year, okay? And or you can also opt to join us and start your career being a sales advisor, and this is how you can earn a free unit simply by becoming an advisor. and we can show you how. So do speak to some of my sales advisors who may be commenting over our comment box or who has shared this live with you. So do speak to them to find out a little bit more. And if you're wondering, but who would I recommend Thermomix to? Well, bayangkan nila, guys. Okay, even chefs. We've got master chefs all around the world using the TM6 or Thermomix and been using it comfortably in their commercial kitchens. We've got busy professionals like my sister, people who are health conscious like Susie and Rino and Ain. We've got cooking enthusiasts like Aisyah as well as Mas, who loves cooking and baking, and they do it for work, and they still love the Thermomix. Friends who can't cook, families with children, as well as friends with medical or dietary needs. So I know of some customers who are battling cancer, who are fighting cancer. I've got friends who are who has diabetes, so they prefer to eat the rice that is cooked using the Thermomix. I've got friends who are going through dialysis, so it's very great for cooking meals that are specifically for those with medical concerns, all right? Now, for Father's Day, we've got this little promotion. If you become a customer with us, so you purchase a Thermomix with us, you also are able to host a Thermomix cooking experience, and you get these wonderful goodies, which includes a thermomat as well as the Tasty Asia cookbook.
But Father's
Which
Day
I got
over
here.
already lah.
Not yet lah, Papa. Not
Are you
yet.
sure?
Not yet. The kids are always giving you Father's Day gifts because they just want something from you. Let me tell you on that little secret that the kids have done. Okay, it's always Happy Father's Day and Happy Mother's Day for us both. Okay, so this is worth about 350 ringgit. And just a little shout out because, of course, it's World Environment Day. I'm just giving support and love to my sisters from Boss Mama. I work with them closely because we are trying to raise funds for my NGI Humarap, and I basically raise funds to help stateless children or undocumented families to get provisions like nasi or beras as well as milk because they drink condensed milk. So this time around they're collaborating with, hold on, let me just double check, is teaming up with APE Malaysia, and they're supporting the Raw Reforestation Initiative. So for every emerald green nursing bra, this nursing bra is also breastfeeding friendly. Okay, so breastfeeding friendly is nursing, but it also is able to pump. So they've got a little opening here so that you can also pump on the go. You don't have to pegang kau punya pump macam tu. Mothers who breastfeed, even daddies who have to kasihan juga lah tengok orang punya bini kan terpaksa pegang-pegang tu.
Wah, dia macam
breast pump.
Thermomix punya colour.
I know, right? So isn't it so coincidence that I'm also promoting it today? Because it's World Environment Day, they've recently just launched their campaign, which basically means that every emerald green bra sold, a tree will be planted in your name in the Lower Kinabatangan Wildlife Sanctuary in Sabah. And this campaign runs from today all the way to 30th of June in lieu of World Environment Day. So this is it. Go and check out Boss Mama to find out a little bit more about how just wonderful this bra is. I personally use it not just for nursing as well as pumping, but also as my workout bra, and I use it at night because, let's face it, I'm 40 plus and things are all going down south, so you want a little bit of lift, but you don't want to be wearing something uncomfortable while you sleep. So this is fantastic and it does its job. Okay,
Well, not from my view.
and last but not least, us at Thermomix Malaysia as well as Diva Romas would like to wish our Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Ri Ayuddin Al-Mustafa Bilal Shah Ibni Almarhum Sultan Haji Ahmad Shah Al-Musta'in Billah Daulat Tuanku, and happy birthday to you. I know that Raja Permaisuri Agong is a huge fan of Thermomix. I'm not sure if she's actually watching this, I doubt it, but just in case, Tuanku, we're big fans of yours, and we're so grateful. So Daulat Tuanku, thank you for your support of Thermomix Malaysia, and we do hope that you're going to continue cooking in your Cik Mina. Okay, so with that, guys, I am going to conclude our show. Again, minta maaf, 10 jari tersusun. Minta maaf banyak-banyak dari hujung kepala sampai ke hujung kaki. Minta maaf if you have any, salah dan silap lah. In the meantime, on behalf of Diva Roma's team, we'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching, and do get in touch with our sales advisor if you are keen on purchasing or owning your very own Thermomix. My name is Daphne Iking, wishing all of you happy World Environment Day. Bye, guys.
Bye.